Hey guys, welcome back to my DeFi adventures. There's been a lot going on recently, and so I thought now would be a good time to update you with what I've been doing with my crypto investments. So, first, let's quickly go through what's going on in the macro environment. The equity markets have dropped significantly from the all-time highs. Here is the daily chart of the S&P 500, and as you can see, the market has been falling quite significantly over the past few weeks, breaking below the previous support areas here, and most notably here. So a lot of people now are afraid that this might be the start of a continued move to the downside. If we zoom out, we can see that the S&P has rallied very significantly from the 2020 low over here, and now people are afraid that we might be seeing a move to the downside from here. All right, so people are afraid, and when people are afraid, they start selling risk assets. So as the equity markets fell, the crypto blue chips of Bitcoin and Ether fell even more. Here is the Bitcoin daily chart, and as you can see, over the past 3 months or so, this market has been on a general downtrend. And with the recent equity market fall, I think people are afraid that we might see a break below this significant support area here, below the $30,000 level. So right now, a lot of people, as I've mentioned, are afraid, and so the price of Bitcoin, Ether, and a lot of the other cryptocurrencies have fallen significantly as well. All right, so let's now take a look at the Ethereum daily chart. And similar to Bitcoin, you can see that this market has been on a general downtrend as well, breaking below this significant support area here, and looking to potentially test this major support area. Of course, no one knows what's going to happen in the future. This might actually mark the low as the market price goes up, or the market price might continue to move down in the short term. We simply don't know what's going to happen in the future, and all we know right now is that this market has been bearish over the past few months, and this move to the downside has accelerated with the fall of the equity markets. So as the blue chip cryptocurrencies fell, so did all other altcoins. And here is the Jewel daily chart, and as you can see, this has been the largest pullback in the history of this token. There has been more history to the back here, okay, but this particular site does not have that history. But if you check this chart on other platforms, you can see this is definitely, compared to the past, the largest fall in the history of the Jewel token. So we saw the price of Jewel fall from $18 to $8 in just 1 week. And this is a very strong price move, even for an altcoin like Jewel. So here's what I did in light of all this. The main thing I did was to take most of my liquid profits off the table and sold about 97% of my liquid Jewel, including the ones in the liquidity pools. And I did this quite late into the sell-off because I was expecting this support area here at about $12 to hold. But as it became clear that this $12 price level was unlikely to hold, I sold quite a bit of my Jewel holdings between the $12 and $13 price level. So I sold some here, and as the market price continued to fall, I sold the rest of my liquid Jewel holdings at around the $9 to $10 price level. So I did take some profit, but I gave away a lot of the prior paper profits that I had made between the $12 and $20 level. So a lot of profit here that was left on the table that had disappeared. So even though I didn't take a loss, most of this paper profit over here completely evaporated into thin air. All right, but that's part of the game, and we just have to take what the market gives us and roll with the punches. Okay, with that said, I continue to hold on to my heroes, including my Gen 0 heroes, and I'm also holding on to my locked Jewel because, as you may know, there are some unofficial ways that you can sell your locked Jewel. And I'm not doing this because I think the future price of Jewel is likely to be higher than where it is today. Okay, so the main reason I sold my liquid Jewel is not because I'm bearish on DeFi Kingdoms, but simply because I want to free up some capital to be used for other plays. Because as the whole cryptocurrency market goes down, that presents an opportunity to buy other cryptocurrencies at discounted prices. Eventually, my plan is to re-enter a portion of my capital back into Jewel, especially when the Crystalville expansion is launched. In the meantime, I will keep playing the game and focus on leveling up my heroes. So here are some extra thoughts that I have. First, I still think that DeFi Kingdoms is the best crypto project I've come across so far. And it's just that the price of Jewel has gone up so much compared to when I first went in that it is such a big portion of my portfolio. And since I already have a big portion of my portfolio in illiquid game assets, such as in Gen 0 Heroes and in Locked Jewel, I think it would be prudent to start diversifying my portfolio. So here is the general allocation of my assets. The majority of it is still in Heroes. However, I have diversified a significant amount of Liquid Jewel, as you can see here, over to USDC. So this is the capital I'll be using for the other plays that I mentioned earlier in some of the other cryptocurrencies that I will be mentioning shortly. So the next point I want to make is that a down market is generally a good time to focus more on research because there's not much to do, there's not much to invest in, and to potentially dollar cost average into other crypto projects which you think that has growth potential in the coming year. Okay, so in particular, I'm right now looking at Phantom, Luna, Cosmos, Near, and GameFi in general. This being said, the priority for me right now is capital safety and shorter term plays. So I know a lot of you guys will be asking me about the cryptocurrencies I've mentioned, so I'm just going to give a quick overview right now, and hopefully I can point you in the general direction that I am looking at for each of these cryptocurrencies. So first, for Phantom, the TVL has recently overtook that of the Binance Smart Chain, and right now the Phantom chain is still of a much lower market cap than BSC. So this is something to look into. I think there is a lot of potential for the price of FTM, or at least the market cap of Phantom, to continue moving up. Next, I am also looking at Luna. This is an EVM alternative, and the UST ecosystem has been growing quite significantly. I think there is a lot of potential still for this cryptocurrency to go up in price. Okay, this doesn't mean that I'm immediately buying, of course. As I've mentioned, right now my preference is to focus more on shorter term plays. Next, we have the Cosmos ecosystem, and this focuses on cross-chain interoperability. So this is something that a lot of the other chains do not offer, and this is a narrative that is starting to gain popularity. So this is something I'm also looking at. Next, we have the Near ecosystem. This is an up-and-coming chain that focuses a lot on scalability and security, and this is something I'm also researching into and will be potentially investing into. Lastly, we have the GameFi narrative that has been growing since the start of this year, or rather the end of last year towards the start of this year. And I think a lot of people are expecting the whole GameFi ecosystem across the various chains to grow more and more popular. And so this is something I'm also looking into, especially into the various other games that are being developed right now. Okay, with all of this said, I want to emphasize that none of this is financial advice, and these are not endorsements of the various cryptocurrencies. As always, do your own research before investing your money. Okay, so here is the bottom line of what I'm thinking right now. First, I am cautiously optimistic about the crypto market. I don't think it's likely that we are going into a prolonged crypto winter. I think we are more likely to see a recovery sooner rather than later. With that said, I think it would pay more to be selective into the projects to invest in, unlike some of the other periods in the past where you can just buy any coin and it will generally go up. I think the crypto market in general is becoming a lot more nuanced. I think there's going to be a growing divide between the strong projects and the weak projects. And I will be focusing more of my attention on the stronger projects at the expense of the weaker projects. Okay, so even though I am generally still optimistic about the crypto markets, I will not be trying to pick the bottom, and instead I would rather wait for the market to start moving up and to buy on the way up. And of course, the way to do this, as you know, is to dollar cost average. And lastly, I think we are still in a relatively sensitive time in the markets, so it's important to remain flexible. If and when I see evidence that tells me the market is more likely to continue moving down than up, then I would be ready to change my mind and to change my crypto allocation accordingly. Okay, so I've come to the end of this video. If you would like to stay updated with my shorter term plays, please feel free to join my newsletter. And if you found this video to be useful, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.